Started. Yes, he has started. And it's going to be some very interesting games ahead, right? So very interesting summer, right? I started watching Spain versus Croatia, and you know the score if you watch it like me. So 3-0 in favor of Spain. I wasn't necessarily expecting this result, but I suspect there's going to be many other surprising results like that. But it also so happened that this is happening before we're running our webinar next Tuesday talking about win side management. So how can you use proactive management approach in order for you to triple your profitability? But did you know there's actually some similarities between winning Euro 2024, but also having a proactive win side management that can triple your revenue? Are you surprised by that? Let me demonstrate to you what are the similarities between both. So stay tuned, guys. Hello again, I'm back in here. So I'm Tony Chi, I'm the founder here of Renewables in Africa. So if it's your first time, what you want to know is renewables in Africa. What we do, we raise awareness about renewables energy in Africa, but also across the globe. If you are a project developer, if you are an EPC company, if you are an investor or a supplier, you say, I want to invest into Africa, I want to expand there. Whoa, let me tell you something. I want to show you how we could help you to necessarily to triple as well your business. So how are we going to reduce the business development costs and also make sure you can acquire customers faster? So how are we going to do that on Earth, right? I want to show you how by using our awareness packages, we can demonstrate to you that you could get more visibility. Number one, the visibility to who? To people that matter the most to you, your customers, people that buy your products and services. Number two, I want to help you to get the leads from those visibility. Yeah, very important. People don't know you, they don't follow you. And number three, I want to show you how you can use that to make sales and boost your revenue, literally. Yeah. And as I'll say, don't worry if you don't trust any of it right now. Just reach out to me, 50 minutes. I can have a conversation with you, show you what we've done with other people, and then you decide whether it actually suits with you or not. Yeah, as simple as that. I was talking about the Euro 2024. So I don't know who is your favorite. I have a couple of favorites. I must admit, I'm not going to reveal that in here, but I have a couple of favorites. But I like the Euro because normally the quality of football is very high. I personally believe that it's probably the most difficult tournament to win because there's a lot of very, very good teams and they're very close. So obviously winning that competition is quite tough, right? And as I was saying in the introduction, I was reflecting on that, and do you know that I found out that there is a similarity between both? The approach, the way you go ahead by winning the Euro 2024 and also winning on your win side management. So, what could be the lesson then that I believe we can draw from the Euro 2024? Although the Euro only barely starting, but I could really see some example here. I want to talk to you about seven, seven. Yeah, 7 points that I believe are similarities, and you tell me which one you prefer, right? I in particularly like the last point I'm going to mention, so you will see which one it is. So the first one I want to mention, let me just go quickly, so we're not going to spend a long time in here. So the number one, I will talk about the training. Training is very important. That's the first step, right? So you definitely want to be training if you want to be winning the Euro. Any competition, if you don't train, you go nowhere. Yeah, that's absolutely uh, vital for everybody, and it's a no-brainer. Everybody understand that. So the equivalent would be you want to have in wins management some level of preventive maintenance, because if you don't have preventive maintenance, you're not practicing for issue that you're going to have, meaning that when it happens, you waste time and you don't know how to handle it. It's actually a lot more tougher for you to fix that. So if you train your team, you get used to what's going to happen in games, in games time, you get used to the challenge that you're going to face, so you know how to react. Same thing, preventive maintenance, you review all those actions that could happen. As you can see, it's raining, right? So I'm in the car protected, but I gotta go out in a minute, watching my son play football, by the way. So but just wanted to record this video with you, spend some time with you in here. So Training is the first thing. So what could be the second thing? So the second thing for me will be monitoring. Yeah, you want to be monitoring your progress, because as you train, as you're putting in place some strategies, tactics, how you're going to handle games, how you're going to handle different opponent, different team, because it's exactly the same thing. You need to monitor that. But you monitor that, have a monitoring system. Yeah, and the monitoring system will tell you, okay, we are progressing. Especially if you're manager, you want to see, are people implementing your instruction in order to be well placed, well positioned, so to be in place in order to defeat the opponent. So from the win perspective, I would say you want to be making sure that you're looking at the performance data. Yeah, monitoring as well, but look at performance data. So are we performing? So it's the is the site delivering the output that is needed? So are we making sure that we have a minimum level of downtime? These are the things that you definitely could see. Yeah. So the second point is definitely for me the monitoring system. Yeah. On both sides, you could get it. What could be the third thing? So the third thing that I want to say in here. So if you want to win, yeah, especially win beautifully, no win ugly. So you want to have an offensive approach as opposed to defensive approach, because ultimately you gotta be scoring goals. I know back in the day, some team have been very good at that. For example, Italy back in the day, I don't know right now. Back in the day, they were quite good at defense, right? But still, even before they defend, they had to score first. So you need to have this offensive approach, as opposed to just only defensive. If you can't score, you don't know nowhere. The equivalent with that, same thing for the wind. If you have a proactive management versus a reactive management, you're winning. You're winning because you go ahead of, the challenge that you're seeing, and making sure that when as you identify those challenges, you are able to find the solution and make things to move forward. You don't stand back and wait for things to happen. Yeah. And I know people like Alfonso and his team, EFF, that's pretty much what they're really focusing on. That's what they're very good at. But we're gonna talk to them on Tuesday, and they tell us a little bit more about that. Isn't it, Alfonso? Right. So I'm hoping you don't mind me plugging you in right in here. So that's the thing. So basically, offensive versus defensive approach. That's the number three strategy. I believe that are the similarities between the two. Yeah. So what could be the four? So the four for me will be the teamwork. Absolutely. If you don't have a nice team mindset, you go nowhere. Because you can't. You could be the best player in the world. You could be the Ronaldo, the Messi, or maybe the Brazilian Ronaldo, which is my all-time favorite. Even if you're one of these guys, you can't win on your own. No, never. It's a teamwork. So there's got to be a team spirit, team mindset. You move together, you win together, you lose together. So if you don't have that, yeah. So on the on the win side perspective, yeah, team as well is important. But I would more equate that to ownership. If you have ownership culture, that as well, it's very good. Because honestly, you understand that it's not just the client side. No, if they win, I win. And usually, even at renewables in Africa, that's the way we look at things. I was saying that to one of a client recently. If you win, we win. So that's why it's important for me to share with you some of the, I believe, feedback that are essential for you in order for you to progress. Yeah. So that is what I would say. That's the number four. You need to have this approach, this vision, team mindset, ownership culture. So on the side, that's very important. So what is the number five? So number five for me, you want to make sure that you know how to do strategic subs. So that's for football. So at times you will have some very difficult games, challenging games, and for you to win those games, you need to make some strategic subs. But also, let's imagine at group stage, before you go to knockout stages, if you already qualify, you may want to obviously save some energy for later and play some players as opposed to others. So you want to be strategic in the way you substitute. And this is where you see the whole, I would say, the whole, not cleverness, but the whole job of the manager, so how good it is, when you come to making the right sub at the right time. If your team is trading, how do you inject new blood so that you can actually get back up into the game? Or how could you change the tempo? You want to be doing that. Making the subs important. What is the equivalent for the win side? You want to be using your resources effectively. Very important. If you don't have the right, if you don't know how to use your resource properly, you go in front of troubles. Yeah, that is what you want to be doing, using your resources effectively, knowing how to plug that in. That's fine. And you need to have a very effective site manager who is able to play with all of that and pull that together. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. That's what I was referring to Alfonso and his team, and there's probably other team, but let me talk to this guy first because I know that they're going to be on our webinars. Yeah, and I'm also going to have Brian Mafanga, so he's going to be on a webinar, and I'm sure he's going to be reinforcing something like that. Yeah, absolutely. So that is the number 5 I've talked to you about. So having this ability to make the right sub at the same time, but also using the resource properly. So what could be the number 6? You know, we number 6 in here. So number 6, remember I said the last one is the one I enjoy the most. Yep, number 6 in here, essentially, you want to be having, you know, long-term strategy to play for the win, you know, long-term win. So if you want to win the Euro, there's a number of games that you need to be played. I think it's about 7 if I'm correct. So if you don't think about playing all of that and winning, again, you go nowhere. Long-term game plan, you know, to go all the way to the win. Same thing. For the win side, absolutely the same thing. What is the objective? What are we looking to achieve in here? And how are we moving towards this objective? This is the way you want to be looking at things. So if you don't put that into perspective, again, you're going to go into trouble. Yep. So that's how I equate it to. So what could be the last final point, as I mentioned to you before? Did you guess? The last final point is very simple, guys. You know, on both sides, from the Euro 2024, you know, same thing as running a win site, so being a site manager there, working it, you gotta enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, guys, it feels painful for you, and if it's painful, you won't be able to give your best. You have to enjoy whatever you do, whether you're a football player, you're a win site manager, you have to enjoy it. And whatever job you're doing, actually, you have to enjoy it. For example, today I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And by the way, I'm getting late because I need to go and see my son play, right? But I wanted to record this video to say, so those are actually the 7, you know, the 7, I would say, similarities I see between winning the Euro 2024, but also winning on your wins site, especially if you're sitting as a site manager. That's what I wanted to draw. Yeah, hopefully you would agree. Which one did you prefer out of the 7 that I mentioned to you? Do let me know. Don't forget, I meet you on Tuesday when we have a webinar that we organize here. I'm gonna have Alfonso Faria, but I'm just gonna have Brian Rafanga. They're both coming. We're gonna talk about that. We're not just gonna talk about Europe. We're gonna talk about as well what are the strategies that you can put in place to have this proactive management in order for you to triple the profitability of your win financial business. So hopefully, obviously, it's useful to you. Definitely do enjoy the tournament. It just barely started. I don't know what's your favorite. We're probably going to be talking about that sometime soon as well. But for the time being, guys, let me allow me to leave because I need to go and watch my son play. Okay? Take care, guys. Bye-bye.